Jesus Freak here, and Merry Christmas to anyone watching within the little less than 5 hours since I'm putting this up. So, yesterday was kind of eventful. A friend of mine sent me some Christmas money by PayPal, and after ordering some stuff on Amazon, don't at me, so that I can do something about the somewhat finicky headphone jack on this and the fact that the speaker on this thing is terrible. Bluetooth receiver, a little boombox with a TRS line input, and some batteries. Check the kind it takes. And then I said, see how much I have left to go to the store and grab a couple things last minute. And as I went down, neighbor sometimes, some of the mailmen are idiots and drop all the mail into the front mailbox when only apartment one's mailbox is in the front. The guy in apartment one is nice though, and he just brings it in and puts it on the steps. So my dad had given me a heads up that he had sent me something. He sent me a card with some money. So, turned out that the side door in and out of the building, the deadbolt was busted and it was stuck locked. Fortunately, there's another way in and out of the building, back door. And that was unlocked. So went, grabbed a few things, came back. I wasn't planning to have a ride to my church, not my church, Christmas Eve service. But about 35 minutes before the service, the guy who takes me to church most weeks texts me and says, you want to go to this Christmas Eve service? I said, sure. It's be there about about 15 minutes before. Apparently he got tied up in a few things that was as soon as he could get there. So I get ready as quick as I can. As it turns out, the back door was also had a busted deadbolt, but this one was busted open. So we at least had a way to get in and out, even though both the deadbolts were broken. Guy from one happens to he comes out and says, I think I get a spare for this side door deadbolt, and it even takes the same key. So as I'm waiting for the guy to show up, here he is off just inside the door bashing away on the deadbolt. Now, the Christmas Eve service is basically the same as it's been for years. Main highlight, it's a truncated version of carols and lessons service. I believe I have an example of a carols and lessons service from a few years ago on my channel still. One of the highlights most years is that the pastor's wife, who's actually a very good soprano, I believe she's a music teacher at one of the schools I used to go to, but I'm not sure about that. But, yeah, pastor's wife sings O Holy Night. I was going to do a video on the roots of O Holy Night and didn't really have the spoons to prepare it, so I didn't. Anywho, another thing is what they do for the last carol, which is Silent Night. They shut off the lights and everyone gets a candle. The kids get battery candles instead of actual candles so they don't hurt themselves. You saw, if you saw it, saw a picture taken from in the sanctuary while we were doing that. I took the picture of the candle. You can see one of the stained glass windows. The organist's daughter, who, by the way, I went to high school with, does a violin solo during that. So we got back, and lo and behold, the guy had managed to fix the deadbolt or replace it. And, yeah, same key worked. Same key. So, my dad called me earlier. He was worried as to whether the card had gotten through because, the mail can be kind of unreliable at times. And, he did have a case where he'd sent me something and a neighbor had swiped the money out of the card. So, he was understandably a little bit paranoid. So I told him, yeah, I got the money. So that's where situations are right now. Had a small Christmas dinner. Shared a little bit of it with a cat. I mean, I do that. I figured, probably not the best thing to give a cat a piece of ham, but it's not the worst thing to give a cat. I'm a bit stuffed. At this point, if I decide to get a little bit brewskied, I don't think I'd be getting pickled very much because, well, it's when I haven't eaten enough that the effect of this alcohol is stronger. I learned that the hard way. Anyway, just thought I'd say what's up. Jesus freak out.